Shalom, Yashrala. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here quick little lesson real quick, dealing with, the coming times that we're coming into, 2021, all right, and the push of this here jab and everything like that, and how the devil is coming down now with great wrath, man, all right, or is preparing to, all right, as you understand, they're about to start pushing out these here jabs and everything like that, and they're going to start using their, basically their armed forces, whether it be police or military, all right. Here's an article dealing with France. It says zero tolerance. France deploys more than 100,000 police to curb the pandemic curfew violations on New Year's Eve. It says, where's the point? Let me read these first 2 or 3 paragraphs. It says, the police contingent deployed across France have been increased fivefold for New Year's Eve in order to prevent people from violating the pandemic curfew and staging illegal parties to mark their arrival of 2021. The curfew, which has been imposed between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m., must be respected, French Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin said on Thursday. To execute this order, more than 100,000 police officers, some 32,000 firefighters, and 7,000 soldiers have been mobilized across the country on December 31st. In Paris alone, some 9,000 officers are assigned to patrol the streets. The number of police working on ground on an average day around France is about 20,000. Law enforcement will show zero tolerance to those violating restrictions aimed to stem the spread of the pandemic. Minister Delegate in charge of the citizens, Marlene Shapaya, warned an infringement of the curfew is punishable with a fine up to 135 euros. Right? Now, here's another article real quick. Right here. Dealing with this one, it says, oops, National Guard announces an error in West Virginia as 40 people receive antibody treatment instead of the jab. But nevertheless, the point here is, you have the National Guard over here and enforcing these, or how do I say, giving out these here jabs, man. All right. So as we understand the times that we're coming into, all right, let me start here in Revelation 12. And verse 12, it says, Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. All right, and this is with the within a whole year, this devil has been able to, basically he's already had everybody subjugated already, but now he's putting in those death grips into you. All right, now he's coming down and forcing everybody to take these things because, beforehand, the devil had a lot of these different ways and paths you could pretty much kill yourself, drugs, alcohol, dangerous lifestyles, and a lot of these things that they sit there and promote, the foods and things that you wind up eating and everything like that. And, sure enough, a lot more people have been dying from a lot more things or whatever, whatnot, as a whole. But now they have these things where they can start, poisoning off people with, in massive numbers and things like that, man. All right. And start controlling, having more control over your body and your basically your health, But it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down to you having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. All right. And this is why they're going out, like Donald Trump say, Operation Warp Speed. He knows he's got but a short time. And so now, Trump said he wanted to have about 20 million people jabbed up before the end of his term. All right. And Joe Biden talking about in the first 100 days getting 100 million people jabbed up, man. All right. So as you can see, the devil is moving with great wrath and tremendous speed right now, man. All right. So he's coming out full force. All right. Let me go over to wait. Well, we can get this first. Jeremiah chapter 7, I'm starting verse 5. It says, sorry. Jeremiah and 30 and 5, it says, For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. All right. So right now, This is the time where we're coming into right now, you know, and a time where they're trying to push out these jabs as a sign of what? Peace and safety. All right, then what the scriptures say, then comes sudden destruction. All right now they created a so-called global scare. All right, a global demand for people to be in fear to, how do I say, look to them for basically safety and things like that, man. Real quick, let me go to where's that at? Isaiah chapter 30. Isaiah 30 and 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. The point here is what? They're taking counsel in a time like this where, you know, with this here pandemic thing that they're pushing out, you know, a lot of people are lost out there in the darkness, don't know what to do, whether to believe it, not to believe it, you know what I'm saying, whether they should get this here jab or whether they shouldn't get the jab. You know, I had one of my customers basically today talk about this. You know, they came outside, and this is a person who don't really ever come out and talk to me or anything like that. But nevertheless, they came out and, you know, they started talking to me, the older Jake dude or whatever, whatnot. And, you know, one time his wife came out and was talking to me about how they're Catholics and, you know, they're like really religious people, more or less to say, you know, but they're stuck into, you know, that so-called religion. You know, she's over here talking about how the Pope can't do no wrong or whatever, whatnot. You know, they long gone Jakes. But nevertheless, the old man came out today talking about how, hey, you know where we can go get the jab at? You know where the first place we can go get the jab at? Like he's looking for these things, man. Taking counsel, but not out of the Lord, man. You know, trying to cover with a covering, but not out of the Lord's Spirit, man. You trying to so-called save yourself by what? Going after, let me keep reading. Verse 2, that walk down into Egypt and have not asked in my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame and the trust of the shadow of Egypt your confusion. So look, they're putting their trust into what? Babylon over here, man. Into these Americans and things like that, man. But what? This is going to further put them into the darkness. You know, they want to taking this here jab, all right, and it becomes their own shame. Now they're getting sicker than they were before. Or like you see the people out there, their face swelling up and whatever, whatnot. You was perfectly fine before all these things. You, in your mind, so-called trying to take precautions to keep yourself safe. And now you way more messed up than what you were in the beginning, man. All right, because why? You didn't take counsel of the Lord. You wanted to go and take counsel from basically your oppressor, man, the devil. All right. Going back, Jeremiah 30 and 5. For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces turn to paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So this is the times that we're coming into, man. All right, you know, they you know, ultimately, you know, when it's coming down to the men of the Lord, they're gonna push and portray us as so-called domestic terrorists, right? Because in the sense where they're trying to get everybody on board to take the jab to make sure that everybody's safe under the guise of national security. Oh, we got to jab everybody up so that we don't have this here mass pandemic and everybody just wind up getting sick and everybody dying, or we have to keep closing down businesses that's destroying our economy. We have to do this for national security purposes. And anybody that's against this, they're against the state. And if you're an enemy of the state, basically, and you live in the quote unquote the state or the nation, they call you what? A domestic terrorist. All right. And what, you know, we have our trust and our faith in the Lord, man. So we're not going to be going, you know, running to Egypt looking for them to try to save us in these things, man. We're going to put our trust and our faith in the Lord, man. But then they're going to be like, oh, you guys are going to be the problems out here, man. So what? He's going to come down into you having what? Great wrath, man. All right. And this is going to be the time of what? Jacob's trouble. All right. Because ultimately Esau knows he's at the end of his rulership. All right. He knows that Jacob's coming up next, you know, and, you know, the Most High put it in the scriptures, basically, certain stipulations or whatever, whatnot, facetious, you know, just fucking around, talking about some, like, if you can number the stars and measure the depths of the ocean and things like that or whatever, whatnot, then will basically Israel cease from being a people. Well, they know that Jake has the ultimate blessing, the everlasting blessing, whereas his blessing was a temporary blessing, you know, ruling the world, you know, and they know that the Lord is coming back for the elect, all right? But nevertheless, in their mind, their little simple mind, you know, you see them trying to measure space and everything like that, measure the ocean depth, count the stars and things like that. But now also they're going to try to get rid of what? Not only the elect, but ultimately all of Israel, man. All right? But what? The devil's going to want, you know, let me grab that real quick. Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. All right, so look, in the midst of what Jacob's trouble, all right, and you got to understand, we coming into the ultimate Jacob's trouble, to where, your regular stability and comfort level is about to be trod and tested, man. All right, because of the fact of what, you're not going to be able to go to work, all right, or working a lot of these different jobs. Your kids are going to wind up having to, a lot of things are going to wind up changing, man. All right, just like how your kids aren't going to school for the most part now. A lot of people are still working at home or remote, or they don't have their jobs at all. All right, all these different things, these trying times are coming, basically to try, your faith, to see where your faith really lies. Are you going to put your trust into, this here devil, or are you going to put your trust in the Lord, man? All right, but nevertheless, the devil's going to come down with full force, man. All right, even at the force of death. In fact, let me grab that. Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. All right, so we're going to be going through some things. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, all right, and tempted, whether or not you're going to take this jab or not. You might be thrown into a quarantine camp, all right, and they're going to tell you, look, you can get out. We ain't really holding you here, but you got to take this here jab, man, all right, that you may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days, but be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So look, you got to be faithful unto death, man. You got to put your trust into Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man, all right, all the way out to the end, man. Whether you lose your job, all right, housing or whatever, whatnot, and all these different things. They want to put you into one of these quarantine camps or whatever, whatnot, man. And then, the thought's going to come to your mind, all this here shit could be over with if I just go ahead and take this here jab, man. Nah, man. Put your trust in the Lord, man. All right. Let me go to Matthew 24 and verse 21 and 22. For there shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And this is the times that we're coming into. We're about to have all kind of things going on all at once. You have all these, hell, just look at 2020. 2020 wasn't just riddled with just the pandemic, or just the people getting sick in the pandemic, the economic collapse. All right. How do I say, the mindsets of these people, everybody's all depressed, suicide rates is going up, drugs and alcohol abuse is going up, domestic violence and divorces is going up. Just a lot of people just wind up dying throughout this year. A lot of different things wind up happening. But how much more when the devil is coming down and you having great wrath, coming in like a flood with their military, all right, trying to jab you up, man. All right, and then also you got World War III still looming around the corner. All right, you have all these different things that's about to start happening, man. All right, well, they've already started happening, but they're going to start intensifying. All right, so look, Matthew 24 and 21. For there shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days be shortened, and going into these days being shortened is really just talking about the prophecies starting to come back to back to back. They're coming quicker now. All right. So if you can remember, some years back, there may have been a couple prophecies, major prophecies start taking place, throughout a year, whatever, whatnot, but now it's like look at 2020, man. Every day of the year, you can turn on the news. There's something dealing with these end time prophecies that's taking place, man, and being moved forward, man. All right. We're not talking about the mark of the beast being the RFID chip. It's something that, people can't really see them implementing. Like, well, we don't really see this here system going down because, the type of technology, we don't really need this shit right now, man. No, we're in a time now where you can see they talking about jabbing people up, and they got to have these little cards, which the cards can be, forged or whatever, whatnot. So they're going to need a way to be able to track and trace people in real time, because why? The lines are going to be super long everywhere because they got to go through and dial up and get everybody medical records. And it's going to be such a inconvenience that what? People are going to be crying out for a faster system, which is going to lead to what? The RFID chip, man. All right. So they can start checking these things in real time. All right. Which is going to further push, Esau's agenda, which is going to lead him into what? The Most High agenda. Is going to bring him to the King of Terrors, man. It says, verse 22, Matthew 24 and 22. And except those days be shortened, there shall be no flesh saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right, for the elect's sake, man. All right, because look, the Lord's not going to leave us out here. Let me grab this real quick. We can close out here. Well, I can read this too. Job 5 and 12. He disappointed the device of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. All right, so hey, look, they're getting caught up into their own shit right now, man. All right, trying to, You know, first of all, they had all these so-called how do I say, not to say conspiracy movements, they pushed out of certain things like this and snap, but also their own the things that they used to do, you know, the Tuskegee experiment type of things, the syphilis things. So people are starting to see who this damn devil is. So a lot of people aren't really putting their trust into them like they used to, you know. Let me grab something real quick before I go back to that. This is Job 20 and 22. And the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eaten. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. So, hey, these missiles are going to start coming, raining down on him as he's implementing his New World Order system, man. Once he's starting to put the final touches on it and everything like that, man. All right, that's when it's going to all come raining down on his ass, man. All right, and we know that we're pretty much in these times. And let me go back to Job 5. This is Job 5 and 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. So we have to endure all these things until the end, man. All right, and this is also what the Lord talking about. Hey, he's going the time's going to be shortening these days, man. Because why? The elect's going to be having to endure throughout all these different things, man. You know, of course we're going to be put in situations or whatever, whatnot. But ultimately, the Lord's going to guide us, man. You know, with your carnal eyes, you may lose your job. You know, lose your finances and things like that, and being able to pay for X, Y, and Z. But look, ultimately, like in the book of Isaiah 65, say, hey, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. All right, the Most High is going to take care of his elect, man. All right, it says he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. You know, and a lot of people say that, oh, you know, where are the Christians at now that's talking about a pre-tribulation rapture, talking about they're going to get raptured up before these tribulations come. The church ain't going to be there. Church, motherfucker, 2020 should let you know that you've been going through this here the beginning of these tribulations. Like Matthew 24 say, these are the beginning of sorrows, man. Things are about to get way worse than this, man. You thought 2020 was a bad year. You looking for 2021 to bounce you back, man? Hey, man, you really sleep out here in the sauce, man. 2021 going to be way worse than 2020, man. People going to be begging to go back to 2020, man. All right. Verse 20, in famine he shall redeem thee from death. You know, just like I was just quoting in Isaiah 65, man. All right, you know, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. It says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and from war the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shall thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. All right, so hey, we're not gonna be panicking and fearing these things, man. All right, while everybody else is being in panic and fear mode to rush them to go out here to put their trust in the Babylon, all right, and go get jabbed up. You walking right into the damn the snakes, you know, the snake's nest, more or less to say. It says, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth, man. And that's what's going on right now, man. When we see these people lining up to go get these jabs and everything like that, like I said, one of my clients asking me, oh, where we get the jab from? Where we get the jab from? Hey, man, we laughing at you people, man, because you on a fast-paced way to destruction, man. All right, because why? You putting your trust into this damn devil, man. But yet with your mouth, you bragging, you boast that, oh, I you know, I'm a Christian. I believe in this and I believe in the Lord gonna do this and the Lord gonna do that, and you go to church and pay your tithes and all this and that. But lo and behold, you never knew the Lord the whole time, man. You going against his advice and his guidance, man. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying into the elect. Until next time, I say call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing this truth and sincerity over the 4 corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time, I say stay strong. Shalom.